I was preparing for my exams and I was searching for a good video, but then I understood there are no good videos. Either it is too complicated or it is too simplified. See, we don't want this. We need simple enough to digest and complicated enough to write in exams. That's what we want. Consider this video as a guidance. Consider this video as an audio book just for RRR. It is a club of many books, very important gold standard Prosto books. So if you don't want to watch the video, just calm down, just listen to my voice and follow through. Let's start with the definition. The definition is extracted or obtained from GPT, that is Glossary of Prosthodontic Terms, 9th edition, and the definition goes something like this: a term used for the diminishing quantity and quality of the residual ridge after the teeth are extracted. Basically, it is very simple to understand. It's not nothing complicated, but still let me explain you. It is the quantity and the quality diminishing over time after extraction. The rate, the quantity and the quality, of course, like in the definition as they said. Now let's get to the pathology. In pathology, now all the other topics I would mainly refer wrinklers, because wrinklers is one of the gold standard for complete dentures, and I am referring old wrinklers, but it is good enough for this topic and it has good information regarding RRR. We'll discuss mainly about gross pathology, microscopic gross pathology, microscopic pathology, pathophysiology and pathogenesis of RRR. Let's not complicate the stuff. I'll explain as simple as possible. Coming to gross pathology. What is gross pathology? In short, what you see through your naked eyes, without touching, without sensing, without any legitimate diagnosis methods like biopsy or anything. What you see through your naked eyes, or what does the patient see through their naked eyes? What will the patient complain? One word: my gums have shrunk. What will they say? My gums have shrunk. This is what they'll say. What is the see, when they complain my gums have shrunk, what is the other thing you observe? What is lying underneath that gums? What is lying underneath that mucoperiosteum? What is lying underneath the residual gingiva? It is the bone. It is the bone, the localized bone. The localized bone has shrunk. The localized bone has gone deconstruction, degeneration, hyperactivity of osteoclasts. Okay. So, how are we going to diagnose this? This and all we'll discuss in future. Microscopic pathology. What is microscopic pathology? Of course, it is self-explanatory. What you see through the microscope while looking for the residual ridge resorption. So mostly you will be seeing this is a signature. This is the signature specific only to this disease. What you'll be seeing under microscope, that is Howship's lacunae. Howship's lacunae. I don't know whether I'm pronouncing right or not, but of course screen recording will be going on and you will be seeing everything whatever I'm seeing on the book, so you can refer the book also. What you will be seeing? You will be seeing scalloped margins. Okay, you will be seeing scalloped margins of Howship's lacunae. Okay, that's what you're going to see. Anyways, so yeah, let me explain what is scalloped margins of Howship's lacunae is. It is a cluster. It is a cluster of osteoclasts, but osteoclasts don't act. They do have a pattern of resorption. How do they act? They act in a periphery. They go towards the periphery. They go and travel outside. So that's what you will see in the X-ray. And how does it look? I'll post a picture somewhere in the video. Pathophysiology. So basically during this pathogenesis, what physiology, what is normal during this RRR, what is going on actually? See, of course we are talking about ridge resorption. When we talk about ridge resorption, something is increasing and something is decreasing. But what is that? The bone destruction or the bone resorption is increasing and the bone growth is reducing or decreased or deceased basically. So as you extract your teeth, your osteoclastic activity will increase and your osteoblast activity will be reduced. So that is what I am trying to say, and that is what Dr. Winkler is trying to say in simple words. Okay, there are n number of studies done, and if you're interested, please go through this book. This is a wonderful book, especially for those guys who want to learn everything about complete denture, the treatment plan, the judgment of the patient, how you handle a patient, everything is there in this book. Wonderful book. Please go through this. And even our lovely staffs, every time they advise this book because this is the gold standard, even they learn. And now coming to the main heading, that is pathogenesis of a club of features. What we spoke, all these features, what all we spoke in different aspects at different levels, now we club all together and form pathogenesis. What can you see? In pathogenesis only you will see the stages. What stages? Stages is Atwood's classification. Winkler has, in his book, he has advised only Atwood's classification, but there are many other classifications, but we'll discuss only the main ones. In pathogenesis, mainly it is the classification. So before starting classification, before even starting the classification, he has mentioned here. So let's start with the classification. What is Atwood's classification? Atwood has, I want to mention something very important, and of course you might be knowing, but I would like to highlight this. What is that? That is, anyways, RRR is chronic. RRR doesn't happen overnight. Residual ridge resorption doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. It is chronic. It is a progressive disease. It progresses into something. It has a protocol. It has a protocol to progress into something. It has a pattern. It doesn't randomly pop up. It doesn't grow, or it doesn't happen overnight. Okay, so it is irreversible, as we know, of course, and it is cumulative. What is cumulative? Cumulative is just like adding drops of water into a mug to fill that mug. So before it is called residual ridge resorption, or before you end up in the last stage, your ridge is resorbing at some rate. At every point of your ridge is resorbing little by little every certain point of time to attain a stage, or maybe where your ridge is today, right now. So let's come to the classification. Classification, of course, it is very important. And classification, what is classification? Classification in Winkler's, it is mainly they are focused on Atwood. So we'll go with Atwood's, and Atwood's, what he has given: pre-extraction, post-extraction, high well rounded, knife edge, low well rounded, depressed. I'll read it again, and those guys who are watching my video will have a picture posted whenever I am saying the classification. And these terms are very self-explanatory, so I'm not going to explain. Pre-extraction, post-extraction, high well rounded, knife edge, low well rounded, depressed. See, you can imagine these stages in your mind. These are very simple enough. When I say pre-extraction, you have a tooth-shaped cavity in your alveolar bone, and because since you have the teeth, the bone shape is like that. You have a cup-like structure to hold the tooth. But as soon as you extract, that starts falling apart. So that's when the RRR starts, and that's where this classification comes. Okay, there is another classification given by Neal, and what he says, what he classifies, how he classifies the ridge resorption is comparison to the floor of the mouth. Floor of the mouth, he wants to compare the distance between the floor of the mouth to the mylohyoid ridge on the mandible. What is mylohyoid ridge? I'll post a picture, you guys will see. We learned that in anatomy sometime, but not now. Let's not divert from the topic. So mylohyoid ridge. So what is the distance between mylohyoid ridge and the distance between the mylohyoid ridge and the floor of the mouth? Yeah, so floor of the mouth, he has classified into 0.5. when class 1 is there are 3 classes, basically 3 classifications. 0.5, when 5 from the floor of the mouth to the mylohyoid ridge in the mandible. If it is 0.5 or more than that, then it is class 1. If it is less than 0.5, it is class 2. And when it is almost equal, what are we talking about? We are talking about equal distance between floor of the mouth and the mylohyoid ridge. And when it is equal, there we go, that is class 3. And let's come to brain mark. Brain mark is little complicated, but I'll try to simplify as much as possible, and it is really simple. Let's go through this flowchart. I have prepared this flowchart from many articles and many books, but this is something I did not find in the Winkler, and they have mentioned only about Atwood's, but I don't see my people, or I don't see my audience, whoever is watching this video, don't want to be left out with any kind of knowledge which is important in this aspect. And I would love you to hear this, or you can just skip. You will be hearing his name a lot during implants. We'll discuss about that too, but for now, for quality of the bone, homogeneous compact bone, dense trabecular bone in core and outer thick compact. See, trabecular, it is these are basics, and I would not expect my students or my audience to not know this basics. And if you don't know, please comment, we'll discuss about that, and I'll go to that extent and explain you. But I hope whoever is watching this video, for now they understand. And let's jump into the classification. What he has done, he has classified the bone as we have discussed in our definition according to GPT. What is GPT's definition? Quality, quantity. Yeah, the diminishing quality and quantity of the bone after the extraction. And he exactly talks about that. There are 2 kinds of classification: quality and the quantity. Simplified, let's go to quality of the bone. What do you mean by quality? In short, it is density of the bone. What it is? It is the density of the bone. See, when I say compact bone is a homogeneous, thick, very good, healthy bone is considered compact bone. I hope all these basics are clear, and then only you are coming to my videos. And don't hesitate, if you don't know the basics, please type. I will definitely make a video on the basics too. So don't hesitate if you have any doubts. So let's get to the first part, that is quality of the bone. How is the quality of the bone classified according to brain mark? Brain mark classification 1, homogeneous compact bone. Classification number 2. And I want to mention one thing before going ahead into the classification. The bone reduction or the bone porosity, the bone diminishing quality, whatever happens, it happens from periphery to the core. It doesn't happen core to the periphery. So if bone, when I'm talking about diminishing quantity of the bone or the quality of the bone, it will happen from periphery to the core. Core or the medulla of the bone is the last thing that is going to get affected. So let's get into the classification according to brain mark in the heading of quality. So homogeneous compact bone, classification number 1. Classification number 2, dense trabecular bone in the core and outer thick compact bone. Outer thick compact bone, dense trabecular bone, core dense trabecular bone, and outer thin compact bone. So see, now in class 2 and 3, what is the difference is, you have a thick core, the same core, but the outer layer, the periphery, has diminishing quality. In class 2 we have a very thick compact bone, but in class 3 we have a thin compact bone. Yeah. Now class 4, both the core and the periphery are affected. How they have mentioned is core low density trabecular bone is found and thin compact bone in the periphery is found. Now coming to quantity of the bone. Yeah, quantity of the bone. Now quantity, how do you see? Quantity is like you can see through measurements, to like lateral cephalograms, through overlaying OPGs in different stages of residual resorption. We'll talk about this in the diagnosis part, but let's clear at least the classification and the basic of RRR. And I would like to divide this video in few parts, but for this video we'll have only the definition, the pathogenesis and the classification. The diagnosis and treatment plan, another video. I don't want to complicate it more, so this is good enough. And if you don't feel this is good enough, please let me know. If I have missed out, please let me know. If you have any doubts, please let me know. No matter if it is silly, if it is serious, even if I don't know, I'll try to find out. Okay, so please. And the second part of his classification, that is quantity. Most of the bone is present. Most of the bone is this part is very self-explanatory. I don't have to explain. I'll just read it out. You can understand. Most of the bone is present. Class 1. Moderate residual resorption. Class 2. Advanced ridge resorption. Class 3. Moderate ridge resorption with basal bone present and unaffected. Advanced ridge resorption with basal bone involvement. So see, it is very simple if you understand the side headings in a very simplified manner. Okay, see, I am ending this video now, but as I said earlier, please let me know anything if you need more. And next video will be how this disease comes, how do you diagnose, how do you treat it. 3 hows. How do you get this disease, how do you diagnose this disease, how do you treat this disease. Simple. So see you in the next video. Cheers guys, stay safe.